want to talk about not being afraid to like fail or struggle or just start or to like start over. And also, I don't know. I think like where I'm at right now is making me be very humble. And but I do also notice that there is some pride that's still there. You know, I don't like allowing people that have seen me do very well have a hard time. But at the same time, I'm learning that there's also it's also good to have those moments because everybody is going to have to go through a hard time or struggle at some point, or have been there, or is currently in that state. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't really do anybody any good to pretend as if we all got it together all the time. You know? And then it's also like whenever you allow yourself to like own where you're at, even when it's like a struggle, you know, like accept where you're at so then you can look back on it and be like, man, I'm grateful because I got to this point because of where I was. But if you spend your time denying that you're even there, like you're not helping anybody. You may be saving face to a few people, but who gives a fuck about them? Because at the end of the day, they're not walking your journey or walking your path. And they could think what they want to think. Because when you own up to yourself and be like, hey, this is where I'm actually at right now, you know that you're going to do what it takes in order to get to the other side of it. Like, you can't be afraid to fail. You can't be afraid to start over and to mess up, to make mistakes, to struggle. Because you have to start from somewhere. So, you know, it's not just a steady up. You know, you're going to have to go down sometimes. But if you keep letting yourself believe that you're always just going to be up, or you could actually be down, but you're telling yourself and everybody else around you, oh, I'm fine. I got it. I'm figuring out, like, everything is up. When it really isn't, just, I don't know, just denial. And it's okay. It's okay to be where you're at. And do what you gotta do. I realized that today. So I was talking to Joy. And I realized with certain people in my life, and they may not even have this perspective on me, but I think that they have a perspective on me that maybe isn't in like the best light. And so I kind of do more than I need to, I guess, in that relationship in order to be perceived a different way. You know, like, okay, I don't want this person to think that I don't have my shit together, so I'm going to do above and beyond when I'm around them so that they feel like I really, you know, I'm really doing something. And the reality is, it's like, you know that you're good. You know that you're good as a person for your own reasons. You know the conversations you have with yourself. You know the shit that you do behind closed doors that nobody else sees. You know who you are. So why do you feel the need to prove that you're better than that person? Why are you not enough for that person? And that person probably doesn't even think that shit about you, you know? So just be yourself, be who you are, and you'll find out that you really didn't have to do anything at all because that person didn't change. Anyways, say that to say, I was talking to my sister, and she's one of the people that I do that with. Just because I think it's just like even stuff that stems from like when we were younger and stuff, you know? But today I was kind of able to just be real, like, yeah, I have $40 to spend for my groceries for the rest of the month. We were on the phone while I was checking out my groceries. So I just been like really strict with myself, like no going over budget, Like if you go over budget a little bit, hey, I guess you just can't get a certain thing, you know. So one of my things that I'm making this week is peanut butter and jellies. And so, well, for the rest of the month, peanut butter and jellies. And so I'm like, okay, if I'm eating it every day, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go through a jar kind of fast. So I got 2 things of peanut butter and 2 things of jelly. And so after she got done checking me out, everything came out to like $42. I was like, yeah, that's only $2. I'm like, no, you gotta get in the habit of just being disciplined about it. So I was like, okay. I'm like, can you take that jelly off? The extra jelly? Oh my God. Yeah, I told her, I said, can you take the extra jelly off? And she didn't hear me, so I had to repeat myself. Wow. Yeah, and I was on the phone with my sister, and I just did her hair this weekend. And usually I don't charge her just anything. Like, I'll be like, hey, just buy me a meal, and it's even. And so, like, she bought me food. But, like, I had paid for it on my credit card, and I'll just, like, have her send me the money. And so she, after I got done with her house, okay, send me the money for the food too. She's like, yeah. So she sends me money for her, and she sends me like, so the food was $34. She ended up sending me $100. I'm like, oh, that was really cool of her. And so she was like, oh, whenever she heard me say like, take the jelly back, she's like, oh, I sent you money, and I was like, yeah, for the rest of my bills. But anyways, I was just proud of myself because I could have easily fronted, you know. And I think some people that I still do that with, a little bit like my parents and shit, just because, like, it's your parents. And I just don't want them to worry. And honestly, I know I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be fine. It's just, like, the journey that I'm on right now. I'm going to figure it out. Yeah, honestly, in the midst of all of this stuff, like, I've heard situations and stories, like people that, you know, I'm close with that have had like hard times before, like struggle before. And I've watched them literally have physical pain in their body from the stress of everything. And I'm just like, I don't want that to be my portion. Like, I'm not receiving that shit at all. I don't want pain in my chest. I don't want to be sick. You know, I was reading this book, and it talked about, one of the lines in there was, we're not happy because we're rich. We're rich because we're happy. Well, really, it said, we're not happy because we're healthy. We're healthy because we're happy. And I think health kind of like bleeds into every other area as well. You know, that's mental health, physical health. And it's just like, you get to have a choice. Like, all of these things can be happening around you, but they're all external shit. It has nothing to do with what's happening inside of you, you know? So I have control over what I'm going to feel. Even if I don't know how I'm about to make this shit happen for the next week, you know? Like, I get to have a choice of how I'm going to feel within myself. So as long as I can control that, shit is gonna come to me. And I know that, like, I know the God that I serve, and I will never go without. Simple. So everything just learning, lesson, and experience. Can't always be up, but it's how you choose to be in adversity that determines who you are for real.